prediction this season. I feel like we're going to be seeing less RHMs and more Tissacs, but not in this one. Sicarios, one Dravik, one E100, one Mouse, one Batchat, K91, Fosh B, and E4. We didn't get to see the bands, however.
I think it's below. I think it's the EBR and the Type 5 that
yeah, you can see. Yeah, the colors are a bit hard to see with that orange color, but yeah, Cashback, triple PZ, one Dravik, TVD7, 430, and Fosh B. So that 430 coming out, and Cashback opening with a hyper-aggressive lineup into this middle.
Yeah, the BZ's boosting towards the cap. Sicarios kind of looking. Can they do some damage? Little taking one, but Adi in return taking one as well. The shots are very limited, to be honest. Not that much damage being dealt at all, and then more being taken out on the Mouse. And Cashback will hold this position. They will force Sicarios to come in very, very early, but do not forget, of course, Rishek with that K91 has a level 1 strike from the beginning, so he will be able to reset at least one player.
Yeah, that is a really crucial change, actually. You mentioned it. That's CS or K91, the strike tanks. Oh, he misses it. Like, should still make it onto this cap in time. 1 second remaining, yeah, does block that on 97%. Like, should peek, get a decap into the back of Aphrodite. He does. Decent damage being dealt across the board. It's blow for blow at the moment. But Cashback, they're taking a lot of damage from the bat and the back, so they're forced to boost forward. But that Dravik of Miku, he's pretty far away. It's going to take them a moment to get over to him, so that gives some time for Adi to deal damage.
Rishek taking the strike as well. Liberty getting Miku from the outside, though. That's supported UV pushing the field. The strike coming out on towards Aka, and Mindbreaker will hit home. Of course, the strike damage getting buffed a little bit as well. Keep that in mind. 425 Mindbreaker down towards 1.3. Miku will fall, but Sicarios is doing a lot of damage for this. A really great opportunity here. That's, I think, Rishek strike or the Batchat strike coming out. It's Alex from 1-2 with the strike to pick up Aka, so that trade 1-for-1. And now Adi trading against Aphrodite. It's going to be 1-for-1 as well, with neither really getting the advantage there. Adi's technically a 2-shot, but, you know, ability and heal will push him beyond that marker. Rishek smartly readjusting that K91, backing off away from the 430U. Alex taking some damage from Barbarian, but he doesn't do it for free either. And so far, 6v6 HP even between the two, and really anybody's game at this moment in time.
Yeah, anybody's game. It's a nice one by Sicarios. They had Miku far away enough that he could actually get it back around the corner and get covered by that K91. Mayo tries to peek onto Mindbreaker, but that 430 is there. With that funny button, Rishek should be able to distract him a little bit, but that's not really a fight that Rishek wants to take up close and personal. But that does allow Mayo to peek onto Mindbreaker. He's probably going to peek in a moment and just make that kill. Rishek distracting Liberty. He takes a bit of damage for it, but if they make the kill on Mindbreaker, he does.
Look at Alex as well, coming in from the 6-7 line in his batch at 25T, pushing towards Liberty, and Liberty is now the second isolated target here. Rishek has a strike available as well, and he will spot Liberty running away. A nice shot there with the K91. That DPM is fantastic on that tank. The bad shot of Alex starting to chase. He will need Rishek to help him, but so far this is looking like Sicarios in an amazing position. At this moment in time, they need for Cashback's side to get Barbarian involved, and they are doing that on towards Lycan. That Mouse, he seems isolated as well, can't really go anywhere, a little bit too slow for that. Trying to do as much damage as he can. He sees Barbarian Crosby, he will give it to Squeezy. That's important because that's not healable for Squeezy either. 651, a big strike and a big strike from Rishek will kill it. Alex in the meantime, slightly too aggressive against Liberty, but Rishek is there. Alex will go down towards the one shot, but they will pick off Liberty before, but little with the strike coming in, picks up Alex, giving us a 4-on-4, and now Squeezy does die against Rishek. That's another strike coming out. Click will heal quite a bit back there in that Forge B. He had the ability active to tank Aphrodite's shot. Milo low as well, and Rishek and well, Rishek and Adi now playmakers, and right now Sicarios even on HP, but they have that extra gun. Barbarian is hunting for Click here, and maybe even Milo, if he's out of position, misses on the first. He needs to hit everything, misses on the second as well, and now the damage starts sticking, and that's too late. 846, he's not healing that back, and Rishek with the K91 giving him another, and Click is about to be reloaded and will peek this. Rishek might even finish it off himself. Click getting shot from behind now. Rishek looking for the finish. Click pops the ability, but Barbarian will heal, of course, base heal on that Force B ability coming in. Click getting some, trying to get some shots in between those tank wrecks, and Adi will find Aphrodite with the E4, and now Barbarian and Little have to somehow finish off this game, but it's still possible because Rishek is kind of far away, and Barbarian comes off a reload and picks up Adi. Rishek now in a 1v2 and pushing in. I'm not sure if this is the right choice.
Yeah, he should play distance, use that camo and DPM. Little spots him out, gives him a shot. Barbarian heals, so there's a potential he's now not one strikeable. There were changes to the strikes. It's now not 450, it's 425 damage being dealt by the strike. Nice small strike. Brings Barbarian down to a one-shot, but Little's going to go in and give him a shot. Reject still aiming for Barbarian. Gets around the corner. Reject doesn't connect that one. Little will give another. Reject connects. Might want to connect one before he goes from the corner, but Barbarian picks it up, and so close, yet so far for Sicarios in this game. They really had it at one point.
Yeah, it looked so good for them. Like, looked so good for them until, you know, Rishik a little far out of the fight. And I think a bad moment there is closing the distance at the end instead of like going for the strike and playing around the distance and, you know, making the Forge be basically useless, right?
Yeah, I think it was a... But there were some good plays. You saw Barbarian in the end. He popped ability even when he wasn't under pressure because he knew he wanted to heal past that 425 threshold. I think the nerf to the strikes damage is going to be quite big, but you can see, you know, the Dravik being added, you can already see the impact. 6,600 damage by Little. It's Little again, that MVP we spoke about in the beginning. Reject 5k on his own, 1,250 strike damage, so not bad by him, but just not close enough. Accurate 0. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, in that BC not getting too much done. Good accuracy, though, from the side of Cashback. And yeah, you can see the bans there again. It looked really good for Sicarios at some point. But I also think that... I remember Alex and Rishek's engagement on the field. I don't think Alex needs to die for that.
No, yeah, he shouldn't. I mean, he died by strike, but even then, like...
he should have Rishek eat all of the damage.
Yeah, because it's more important to have a... Because it's... The KN-N21 is a bit of an awkward tank because it's rear turreted, so you want it kind of sniping from distance, while the Batshot's a bit more up close and personal, so you want that Bat to have more HP. You're completely right. Yeah, a bit of a mistake. I mean, we didn't fully get to see it, so it's not great, but yeah, I do think that probably cost him the game in the late game, as well as Reject going close. You really want to try and pick up Barbarian, but Barbarian made it around that corner. But yeah, first round to Cashback. Was getting concerned for my predictions there for a minute, but...
I was feeling it, you know. I was like, imagine starting it off with the first round on Sicarios, and I'm looking good, you know. But
I mean, I thought it's the key hand curse, you know. Whatever key hand predicts, you predict the opposite. And for some reason, I decided to go with his prediction. I'm kind of enjoying. I'm appreciating the T100 a little bit more. Cashback taking that one, an E4 double flash B140 type and a BZ. Yeah, what do we think? You have any opinions on the lineups?
I mean, it looks like a very aggressive play from Sicarios because of the Dravets, but...
yeah, but those double flash Bs on Cashback, they're not passive tanks.
No, but, you know, but they're not really going that aggressive with it either. Like, look at them, they're aiming at Liberty, but the T100 is able to just cross in front. You know, it has better camo values, of course, than the RHM. It's not quite as big, it's not as chunky. So Liberty has no problem with getting past. They try to opt to get some initial damage. They don't get that, and now Cashback will at least secure the middle strike.
Yeah, big hit by Aka into that Dravik of Miku. The type with its AP does do a bit better against those Draviks because of the spacing, but first blood Mindbreaker does take the strike. Sicarios sitting very far back. All 3 strikes being taken by Cashback at the moment. This is not looking that good for Sicarios. They do need to contest something. Otherwise, that strike arsenal will begin to build. Barbarian very cheeky to take that one line.
Yeah, but great for them. Ooh, good plane as well. Good plane in return. Squeeze is actually the one to take more damage. A strike coming out. It will hit home on 2. So a good strike. Good damage as well. And like now transitioning into the cap though. They gotta be careful. Barbarian's still lurking on that 1-2 line.
Yeah, he opted not to run, holding his ground. Like crossing takes one from Mindbreaker. Aka might try and give him one in return, or might try and give one into Click, I think. Ooh, bounces that one, and Aka takes 1,000 for that. It's not what you want to see, this meaty heavy tank, but now Barbarian's clipping out into Like, hence the first 2 bounces. 1, bounces a second, Little bouncing as well, Like tanking like a champion here. There's a lot of Fosh Bs. Little will heal most of this damage back. He has this ability pop, but Like's not doing that bad. He weathered that storm pretty well.
I mean, it's a type 5, you know, if there's one tank to take the punishment, it's that one you want, and they seem to be going for Barbarian right now, and he Only he has 14 seconds left on his reload. He will pop the ability and heal some back. Milo needs to be really careful because as it stands right now, Barbarian will come out with the clip. The strike coming in, hitting a double strike. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. Barbarian now starting to heal. He's almost reloaded. 1 second. How many shots can he get? Adi with a good block there, keeping him to the side. Will have to tank at least 1, maybe 2 more. And Little coming in from behind. It's the sandwich between Milo and Adi. Little coming in a big ram. Very, very nice to make sure that the RHM dies without using as little shots as possible. And Adi now running out in the open will tank the Type 5 shot, but can he tank the E4 shot without dying is another question. Rishek is the one to take it, and now Liberty gets a shot on Adi. In the meantime, that Foch B still sitting there. Little will face off against Rishek. Liberty finds Adi, so far Cashback turning this back around.
Yeah, that T100 is not got the highest pen, so really nice shots into Adi down to Dravik. I know from experience that Dravik's not that easy to pen with a T100. Click bouncing one, they're not penning this E4. It should be the tank that they're able to go through. Click now on reload, 44 HP, gets ramped in the back, deleted. Like Aphrodite bouncing that one. Not the greatest shooting by both teams in this one, but yeah, Cashback just with that better positioning. Liberty coming in with that T100. Yeah, I mean, I saw Little coming in. I just wanted to shout Little with the steel chair, you know, just coming in behind. And I think this is too much of a passive opener by Sicarios. Allowing Cashback to take all 3 of those strikes, it just puts you in a really difficult position.
Yeah, without that arsenal of strikes, Milo and who was it, Adi, they took 900 each, so that's 1800.
I don't see Cashback playing an STRV against, you know, when you are the strongest, when you're the weakest seeded opponents and you think what the strongest seeded opponents are going to take, you don't really imagine them taking tank destroyers, right? You imagine them taking more fighting tanks, more versatile tanks like a Dravik, a 430, or a Batchat. But I think we might see a Dravik or a Yo tank banned, or a light tank. Light tanks are always a pretty decent option, but IS7 and STRV actually. So Cashback
It was Cashback that banned the STRV.
Yeah, quite surprised by the I7 pick, but neither team's dropping the Dravik, so maybe both teams are thinking that the enemy team will prepare strats with the Draviks in mind. But Mayo in the beginning gets some nice information, gives a shot as well. Plane coming in, Aphrodite gives 1. Mayo going on that high ground, so. And bear in mind, Aphrodite and Little, double K91, they both start with strikes. Another shot received into Alex by Aphrodite. It's a nice opener. Both teams taking respective parts of the map.
Aphrodite with the mini strike. Ooh, will miss Adi actually.
Destroys
so
the buildings though.
Yeah, but Adi gets a strike, so no damage to be found. Click now pushing up as well. Information tower, Milo tries to take it. Aphrodite will reset that. Liberty will hit it again as well. That's a lot of damage taken already on that RHM and Batshot for this. Click is trying to put some pressure on this K91, but you know, he still has quite a way to go. There's a BZ looking as well, and so far Cashback in a pretty strong position.
Yeah, I like that Click took this back position, because if he commits, there's a play that Cashback can make with Mindbreaker there with the BZ boosting through onto him if he commits. All the way Adi peeks, doesn't connect it, doesn't have the gun depression, I guess. And what you need to bear in mind, guys, this the small strikes that the K91 gets, they were buffed in the most recent patch, so the level 1 strike is a little bit bigger. The circle that it can hit is a little bit bigger. The damage is the same, but the circle's a bit bigger, so much better for decapping these strikes. Little will take this one. Only the Dravik could deny him, but yeah, Mayo losing that much HP so early is not a good sign for Sicarios at the moment, and they need to get this grill in the game.
Wasn't the mini strike 75 damage last season?
You might be right, actually. I'm pretty sure this season's 100.
Yeah, I think it was 75 last season.
Okay, so they buffed the circle and they buffed the damage. Yeah, you're right.
But this is a really tough position, though, for Sicarios. I mean, Aphrodite behind the rock, even if he was to get plane, Milo doesn't have a plane. I don't think he takes much, if anything, because of the shape of that rock that he's sitting behind, right? He can just go behind it, and who would shoot him? Maybe Zero Line would have a very tight angle, but everybody else, no way. And this Gorilla needs angles to be able to get the damage in, and so far, he's not getting that.
Yeah, I mean, the only advantage at the moment that Sicarios have, I think, is that the grill has never been spotted. But strike comes in, denies Miku, big hit. Oh, Aphrodite, the greed.
Never mind. The strike coming out as well now.
Small one, though.
No, that was the one.
No, the big one, sorry, but it won't kill him. That's what I mean. But
Click is coming
Miku
though.
Takes it though.
Yeah, Miku takes, and Miku kills him as well. And was that with a regular shot? Yeah, no, he did the strike. Yeah, and then the strike he used it anyways to be safe. But Aphrodite, you know, I was just complimenting his position, and then he makes that peak, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. As I said, the only advantage for Sicarios is that grill was unspotted, and it pays dividends because Rijek hit Aphrodite for 1,000. Adi, being a bit greedy with the overpeak, finally gets punished for it. Takes another one as well by Barbarian there. But now, Sicarios are in a good position, down on HP though, and bear in mind that Cashback still do have a lot of strikes. They need to still convert this Sicarios, this advantage that they have.
For sure, I mean, but they do have the kill advantage, right? So now they're probably gonna settle into a lot more passive kind of game, where they're waiting for a play, and that gives Cashback opportunities, right? I think that gives them opportunities to think about what their move is gonna be, gather up that strike arsenal. They have potential to get at least the one where Barbarian is all the time, and even the one in front of Squeezy, I think they can take with like the K91, but he already has a strike, so not an option for him. But they have some time to think where is the weak point, and where do you think the weak point is right now in this setup from Sicarios?
I think probably Addy. He's kind of stuck behind this rock. I mean, I quite like the way the Sicarios have set up. They're keeping the grill in the base to cover against the repush against E1. Not sure why Mayo keeps trying to take that info point, especially when you're on 1200 HP. It's really risky. Rijek does get lit and takes a shot. Not sure why he keeps going there. He just needs to cover like against that repush. Mayo takes a strike as well. He needs to stop trying to take that strike. Another strike there, down to a one shot for the strikes. Liberty, Intuition, HE, you just saw it there. He's trying to get a shot. Shoots, scores. So unnecessary by Mayo, but beautiful play by Liberty. That HE, it's not the highest velocity, it's shooting on that range. Really nice.
That was a waste. That really was a waste.
Yeah, it was.
Milo doesn't need to take the info. His team is setting up to receive a push at some point. And now, whereas Sicarios had the kill advantage, right? And we're leading because of that, the HP department, they are far behind.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know the draw rules, if it goes to a draw, the timer runs out. The team with the most kills gets the win, and Sicarios were in that winning position until Mayo died. Now it's all even, and it depends on damage dealt, and damage dealt, it's gonna be Cashback because they keep getting these double strikes every minute and a half. See Click slowly approaching. Looks like they want to make a move on Mindbreaker. It's a lot of HP to chew through though.
8,730, yeah, very hard.
And by the time that they even get him down to half HP, Squeezy and Little will be there to support him. Click gets spotted, gives a free one because Mindbreaker I think took a shot into Reject, didn't connect that one. But you can see now Squeezy and Little, they're converging to help Mindbreaker. Adi takes a shot by the Dravik in the base. I think that's Akka there. They really want to try and get this grill in the game, but if Reject is able to take that high position, you know where the bushes are on the right? You see that, you know, if he goes high in the bushes with the rock, he could give Mindbreaker 1,000 damage unspotted.
And the difficulty is to get up there in the grill without the zero line spotting you.
Yeah, Adi is really that weak point. I mean, every strike that gets spotted now is just going to go on Adi.
And they're trying to get some shots on Akka in return, but that's a hold on Rabbit. That's
look on one line though.
Yeah. Oh, good shot.
Like is repressured into Barbarian in that J1 corner. It looks like a 1v1. Barbarian should have the slightly better position just based on how the map is, and Little and Squeezy are giving shots to the side. That's 1,100 down. Now Barbarian is in the advantage, and Like has absolutely no support. He will go down here in this 1v1 bar some kind of miracle. All falls apart for Sicarios.
Yeah, this, you know, it's always, you don't want to overly criticize one player, but this is really like an unforced error under no pressure from Milo, where, you know, he doesn't need to do anything. They just need to wait and set up crossfires for when the push eventually comes. And, you know, he took that opportunity away from his team. And it was really like, even the way that he was playing around this information tower, right? He could be driving towards the middle, towards the 6 and 7 line to avoid this RHM that he knew was on 1-2 line, but he just kind of hovered around that radio tower after getting double striked and gave Liberty opportunity to kill him, which was also weird.
It felt very nervous. It felt like You know, I've played so many games where players, you know, you're in a situation where you just need to sit still, and players feel like they always need to do something, right? So it feels like Mao could have just sat still in a bush somewhere and just, you know, tried to weather the storm of Cashback strikes, but just decided not to and decided to try and be a bit proactive and got completely punished for it. But as you said, this is a completely unforced error that it's not nice to say, but it's got to be a bit better.
Yeah, that was a tough round for Sicarios, and it will also conclude the first match because Sicarios will be going down 3-0. Congratulations, Banter. First prediction of the season right. Starting off strong.
I mean, what's most important for me is that Keyhand is above you. Isn't that embarrassing?
I mean, knowing that...
Yeah, I believe.
Combination could be a thing where you just try to get map control, maybe one strike medium as well to have the immediate decap available, stuff like this. But yeah, for now, I think both teams looking to play fairly standard, but most importantly, you see no BZs. So that one already seems to have been banned out.
Yep. So the double light, going for the long game. Good plane, gets 6 tanks, only missing Herman, but since Deka and Franek are spotted, you know, they'll know that the last tank is a light. So full info for hit and run. Now, how do they play around this?
How do they play is a good question, because I think the tanks that they have, they're good for the cap, but not really for much else. Those MBYs, they want to stay hold down. They don't really want to push out, because yes, they have kind of an okay HP pool, but they don't really want to use the ability if push doesn't come to shove. I like the setup, though, by hit and run with the double Dravets on the G line and the RHM to cover. They just need to be careful, really, not to use him. And Ketsai, who has already taken damage, that implies that CTR actually knows that he's there.
Well, nonetheless, it's a very big stalemate, Kian. But the double light, yeah, double plane as well. So they have a lot of plane potential for the cap as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, stalemate in a sense, but then again, both teams are going to be racking up neutral objectives. The question is going to be if CTR will be able to take the second info tower, which at the moment doesn't really seem like a huge possibility, but a huge plane, a huge info tower usage coming out from Hit. They see that rotation that was coming out from the 50B and the K91, and now they obviously have to double back because that was a little bit too obvious. Hit and run, though, at this point in time, they have taken more damage. And that means that for now, it's also onto hit and run to make something happen. But they obviously do have a lot of time.
Things to keep in mind, Froley with the K91 has the tier 3 strike, right? So that's a big one. Ready. Evo has a big artillery strike. So if you think about it that way, this cap attempt will force out those strikes, but will also generate a decent amount of damage in return for CTR, right?
Exactly, and if you do it correctly, you could even generate a second strike. Oh, the K91 gets spotted out here. Monster in that medium tank.
He's dead.
Down and out. And the 50B finding success.
I mean, even if the 50B didn't kill him, you know, like the strike would have finished it off as well, and hit and run tried to sneak past, but CTR looked so ready for that. Did you see how ready they were? Really predicting that as a possibility even. I think maybe even the K91 using some spotting equipment on the one that's in front. Would have to check the one that's next to the 50B. Is it Evo?
Possibly. Could be. I mean, the double RHM, I think they were too far away.
Yeah, I would love to know if Evo has some sort of a spotting equipment on his K91, because that's still like 3 squares away, and spotting a K91, which has pretty good camo, to be honest, right? K91 has pretty good camo, so I'd like to know if Evo is using anything to help him in that regard.
I just asked the observers to give us a close-up of that one, but for now, this is obviously bad news for Hit and Run, that they are not only down a tank, they're also down a light tank in the grand scheme of things, and the cap attempt isn't really going to work out against, well, at this point, a strike plus double medium with also a strike. No, actually, no spotting equipment on it.
Oh, I'm really curious who spotted him then. The Dravets? Was he using his Brothers in Arms. What's the ability called again?
Unity, I believe.
Unity. I call it Brother in Arms. It's kind of the same thing, right?
I mean, Ketsai dodging the artillery strike, so, well, he's going to get the info tower regardless. He just left there because of the audio cue, but to be honest, well, this is a pretty bad situation for Hit and Run that, mind you, I believe, picked this map.
Right, I don't even know why they used the mini strike on Ketsai. They shouldn't even try it. Just keep it for, like, something later. You know what I mean? It's, like, cool and all. You want to do it, but, like, there's no point denying it. It's, like, a really minor stuff. Like, it's something really small, but you never know that you really need the mini strike at the end, right? And you don't want to be, like, regretting that you try to use it on killing the RHM.
I tend to agree with you there. But then again, Frontar, who was the one using the strike, I guess he's looking to deal more damage and just acquires the strike again for now, I suppose. But yeah, Frontar also with a shot at Pan's Fury here does not manage to reset. So for now, CTR will probably have to commit the big strike onto the cap. Indeed, it does get used on Decha, but that's only half of the cap points. So 25 seconds remaining. The big strike, though, getting taken from CTR, and they will probably be able to reset there. Another one comes out. So completely reset with the cap timers, and another strike taken by Floki, who has a level 3 ability ready with the 50B to just start blasting whenever it's necessary. But for now, it doesn't seem to be the case, although it's mounting cap pressure and also the shots into Kolicek, they are starting to eat away at CTR's composure.
Yeah, but, you know, Kolicek is going to be very hard to, I mean, hopefully unlike... now from Kolicek onto the cap, spots out Decha, spots out Panther Fury. They will use the strikes as well. The front are with a good reset. You know, there's a regular reset. He's a new addition to CTR, right, from this season?
I believe so, yes. And new blood sometimes can bring new perspective and new talent onto the team still, though 8 seconds and the cap now getting boosted by Ketsai. Hit and Run looking for the knockout punch. The info tower getting used, so does the strike by the 50B. It will find the mark onto Decha and also good reset onto Cap. And that something is not losing HP like Franta did.
Well, Froley is taking the strike, but Panther Fury or Fnatic could deny that. So who is going to reset the base right now? Because Froley will not be able to take this for free. He gets denied. It's 4 seconds, and now he's really starting to question about that little mini strike that they wasted, and it's gonna be Hit and Run capping out the base after all. And you really start to wonder if that K91 that used the mini strike had one later on, because those few seconds it could have bought might have been potentially crucial. Yeah, this is really good from Hit and Run, and CTR getting absolutely bamboozled.
I mean, was it really good from Hit and Run, or was it
like you can have a few strategies? They can only ban one of them anyways, right? So taking that into consideration, the RHM was banned from CTR's side, the BZ from Hit and Run. That's why we see the lineup with the Tasak coming out from Ketsai. He's going to be playing that one. Tasak, you know, very potent tank as well if you get in. You know, 1,000 damage per clip basically. So can do a lot. And CTR challenging up, but look at it. Hit and Run playing the strategy of this controlled north opening, which we see usually with BZs, but you know, Dravids got added and BZ's banned, so they're opting to play it this way. And CTR will have to make a move early on here, and it seems like they're going to push on towards DJ. The sack spraying in, there comes the strike, damage on the crossing, on towards Floki. He will be forced to stop actually. It's home on 2, and now DJ getting pushed by Woodok and Herman. Herman and that Bliskovice connecting their shot, and now it's on Herman to do the brunt of the damage. Will be penning most of those. The Dravid's not really bouncing. Disek is going down as well, and the Dravid's actually in Woodok. And Herman finds DJ. Kolicek kind of out in the open there, pushing down towards the Dravids, gives Ketsai an opportunity to get back in. And strikes coming out as well on towards Evo, Decha, and Panther Fury. Now joined by Monster, the team captain, wants to bring the game home for his team. Not sure how Kolicek ended up there near the Tasak, and as a result we can see that Evo is dead as well. And Frontar trying to tank, needs the teammates to come back in. It's 2,000 HP lead for Hit and Run. Another strike coming out, big radius with the finish as well. That's Monster, and I don't think CTR can re-push this.
No, I don't think so. It's just tanks everywhere. Ketsai coming in for an assassination on towards Floki as Herman now coming with that Foshby chasing after the CS, but a Foshby is not going to challenge against the CS that can just run ring around the Rosie. Herman now opting for switching the target on towards Panthery, who goes down to a 2-shot, but Woodok completely taken out of the... And yes, the first game they had the upper hand, but here, Hit and Run just looked oh so ready. Hold down positions immediately prepared. CTR driving into it, into the strikes as well. So yeah, a good reaction from Hit towards the aggressive opener from CTR, profiting off of it. And yes, the first game that didn't have a gunner and a driver, but it didn't... Well, let's see. I mean, CTR, yes, they will be slow, but they will also...
They'll have a little bit less HP, but more mobility. CTR will be very slow in this battle. You know, that 5 type 5s, slow giants, but a lot of HP. Well, but it's going to be hard to like utilize this well, though.
Well, let's see. I mean, CTR, yes, they will be slow, but they will also be able to take a lot of punishments. So the E4 has been banned, and I believe Hit and Run ended up not banning anything.
Huh. Wait, so if you don't ban, you don't ban anything?
No, that's an active choice you can make as a team.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if just no one votes for anything, then you didn't vote for anything, and that means no ban is going to go through. It's the same way in random Onslaught, by the way.
But I'm trying to think about why would you do it?
Because then maybe, you know, CTR can only either ban Type 5 or IS4, so you probably prepared 2 different strategies, and now you will get to at least execute one of them for sure. I think that might be the reasoning behind it.
Very interesting.
But yeah, Floki getting a jump onto DJ, and actually Decha also not trading too well here, so Hit and Run in the opening stages of the game, taking a little bit, DJ even a little bit more punishment here against the opposing forces, as Katsai also taking one. So far, the higher alpha guns from CTR working out well, although Koidicek now in a little bit of trouble with the 430U, but should be able to stay safe on the outside here, especially considering that Hit and Run have their CS, which is a lot of their mobility in the city, where he was just spotted, but luckily for Monster, he didn't take any damage, at least so far.
CTR now taking the F1. I would still call it F1 because of like the old minimap, you know? Not used to the way it is, but he's taking that strike in the 140. That's good for the Inspire as well. Good damage against T-Sec. Takes 2. They take the strike with the 140. That will be, like I said, good for the Inspire when he puts that one on. And so far, gotta say it. I mean, if we look at CTR's trades, it's Floki taking 1, Koidicek taking 1, but then Hit and Run side, they started with less HP, and they're also the one that got punished the most so far.
Oh, finally good retaliation from T-Sec on towards one of the CTR tanks, but Katsai taking yet another stunner in that Drabets down towards a possible 2-shot, make that 1-shot as Woodok connects. Fronta still coming in fully loaded with that Type 5. T-Sec trying to profit, doesn't make it, so Woodok just keeps on pumping, keeps on driving with the Type 5, looking for the first kill in the game. Will he get it though? That's the question. He does connect it. That means Katsai all down and out of the game. Evo and Herman, meanwhile, taking a look at T-Sec, who goes down. That's 2 unanswered kills from CTR.
Yeah, and I don't think that Hit and Run can answer. They're not in a position. They don't have HP. They don't have tanks. DJ is getting sandwiched as well. CTR with that quad, well, a quad 5 Type 5s are able to make this work and will be picking up their very first round in this match. It's not going to be 3-0 Keyhand, and you may have been very happy that you were ahead of the predictions for just 5 minutes, like I said, but that's looking like it's going to change.
Well, it certainly looks like it, as Decha falls as well, leaving Hit and Run with only a CS type and a Dravets, and obviously that CS is going to melt in the city. All the mobility is not going to help, especially when Herman puts an HE up your butt. Monster is not going to be happy about the outcome of that situation and the battle as a whole, as CTR are going to put the first point of the AMD OLA 6 on the board.
Yeah, good round. Very good round. Dives, and it's kind of hard to hold that with the Hit and Run's lineup, though. You have the Mivi on the field. He gets pressure back by the 430U. You have this Dravets that, honestly, got owned. Like he realistically just got owned.
Around about 750 alpha.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think E100 is really a E4 replacement.
No, I mean, it's certainly lacking the pen. But yeah, once again, CTR coming in with the E4 ban and hit and run once again, not banning anything. So very interesting stuff here, especially from hit and run. For example, you could ban something that you're just not going to play, but then again, you don't know what the enemy is going to ban while you're banning. So maybe really they just have chosen to leave everything open and then just decide on the, hey, whatever the enemy team bans, we're going to play that strat.
Well, strike being taken on 1-2 line. This is a slow Ruinberg, kind of what we were used to as well. Hit and run has the potential to take the strike on the 8 line, but I want to point out that there's a Foch B with Evo on the 9 line who's specifically there because he has a angle on towards that strike as well.
Now, where do we go from here? Because I don't want to say it, but I am going to say it. Over a minute on Ruinberg has passed and not a single point of damage has been dealt. Classic.
Monster gets spotted. That's info though. He knows that there's something there now because he wouldn't get spotted if there was not a tank where Evo is, right? He does a spotting check. What that means, he shoots the gun, he gets spotted. He knows there's somebody in a position they probably expect, but it's always nice to confirm.
Absolutely, and he also knows that it was a tank and not incidentally a plane or an info tower, for example. So yeah, as you said, he definitely knows that someone is going to be there. For now, though, I think both teams are slowly, very, very slowly trying to make progress. Monster starting to be a little bit quicker, driving through with the Dravets. He's driving into T-57s, but of course he does have some spaced armor somewhere, and that hold-down position is going to be nasty to lock down the F-line approach here against the entirety of the CTR team.
Kind of cheap. Got there kind of cheap, but he does take the position. That's the most important part. And Froley kind of wants to use his strike, but who does he use it on? Because, you know, the 1-1-2 line is open again. He uses it on Monster for 25. Damage dealt, it seems like CTR is winning slightly. But, like, it's honestly neglectable right now. And Hit and Run is actually starting to march across. Look at them. Desec, Panther Fury, Deja. They're moving up.
They're spotted doing that, though, so there is a little bit of time for CTR to react here. Koidicek might end up getting caught, though, in the T-57. Needs to be very careful. He does have Evo with the Foch B and even a secondary T-57 here starting to open up on Deja, though, as Evo takes a shot of damage by the 140, and that obviously might mean Inspire for the entirety of the hit-and-run team. Yes, the Inspire not as good as last season, but it can be an extremely powerful tool for the shootouts.
But how does Hit and Run? Oh, so they're gonna maybe bully with Cat's Eye in the 100? I mean, close up in the 100 is very hard to pen, right? If he was to cross this gap and start playing the corner, he has 2 tanks in support covering him, so gotta take that into consideration. And also, Monster knows that Evo left. Evo is the first beat. That was the one that was on the 9 line, so he can take the strike for free on the outside. Of course, has to accept the damage he takes in return, and he's actually gonna play back inside. There's a rotation coming out, but the 4-2U wanted to do it together with the Type 5, but the 4-2U gets spotted out. Good peek there from Koidicek. Gets 2 against Monster. Against that Dravets, and now Ketsai starting to sidescape here. Evo and Floki, this is not an engagement that they like that much, but they do get some good shots. Evo finds 1, Floki finds 1 as well, but Ketsai E100 angling out. Floki, though, finding the top bar, gives him 2. But here comes the pincer, Deja and Panzer Fury from behind. Panzer Fury looking for Evo, finds the shot. Deja looking for it as well, and it's going to be DJ to finish him off. Will not get to heal that. They find the kill. The pincer comes in from 2 sides, unspotted as well, and now CTR has to react. They have to push back in. They're going for Panzer Fury as first one, but they're now crossing over against Hit and Run. That setup, and Fury joins him. Katsai overplaying in the 100.
And indeed, double kill here for CTR, but the T-57s are still going to be reloading right now. Koidicek about to come off. Reload is going to pump his clip probably into Decha. That is the lowest target available, but maybe he's going to die before that. Down towards 2 shots. 1 shot in the clip does make the last one. Woodog another shot in towards Decha as well, who is a 1 shot by himself. Fronta in the meanwhile 1 versus 2 situation. Bounces a few important and maybe crucial shots. Franek does shut him down though, putting hit and run in the 4v3 scenario. But they do have less HP.
Yeah, but do keep in mind that a lot of that HP is on Woodog. That's 4k of the HP on that Type 5. If they can somehow get Herman without losing a tank, CTR is able to do it instead. Monster gets a shot against Herman, but Herman can pull back into that cubby hole. And now Franek facing off against Froley. 140 is a good tank, but it's not good enough to beat a 430U and a Type 5. And it's going to be everybody's wrong because CTR is not going to pick up one. They're going to pick up both rounds of Ruinberg.
Yeah, Monster now trying to desperately solo out Herman to maybe get a 1v2 situation here, but Froley with that absolute machine gun of a 430 is going to chase after, and Herman knows where. The answer is no, but he doesn't need to. He gets the reload off, and he still is a 2-shot at least for Froley here, but Froley with that 430U at this point in time, he is just a DPM machine, and he's gonna bring it home for CTR, and Hit and CTR are actually gonna go to tiebreaker.
Yeah, really, really good stuff from CTR, to be honest. I think they were in a little bit of trouble there when the pincer came in, but it was over the limit, dies, and then, you know, that's 1 kill, and they get the second one. On purpose, though, because it's lower profile for going towards the hill. So you got to keep that into consideration as well. It might actually have been a choice.
Actually, I just saw the bans in-game, and it's BZCS, of which we see neither. And it seems like CTR have banned out the BZ, whereas Hit come out with the CS ban. Now, the adjustment obviously needs to happen on the fly with EBR booking it with that EBR. He is going to have the speed advantage definitely over the T100 of, well, his own team, but also CTR with that double light tank. This means that they don't really have a lot of fighting power.
Also to put out is that Herman did not use his plane at the beginning.
Well, that's probably because they don't want to give away that there is a secondary LT, because as soon as Hit know that, they're going to really commit onto whatever they find close to themselves. You can see by CTR, except for the light tanks, no one is really moving close. Woodog, yes, together with Franta on the outside, but normally at the start of the game, you don't really see a lot of enemy tanks there. Herman trying to kind of pre-spot for Franta, so he doesn't really get caught by anything. Franta will get away with the strike for free. And additionally, CTR have also taken the info tower on the hill with that EBR, so the neutral objectives are going CTR's way currently, but the bigger neutral objective currently getting captures by Hit, which are putting the 60 TP ×2 into the cap.
Yeah, double 60p is a lot of HP, a lot of alpha as well to play against at some point. So, got to take that into consideration as well. They do take the strike on 1-2 themselves for hit and run. But how does this T100 get involved in the long run, though? Because, like, it's not really a good damage dealer. It's not on the hill. And, you know, it's still a light.
Well, I mean, he can put the plane on the cap to kind of spot for Franta with the artillery strike. But I do agree. After that, what is going to happen? Floki, for now, with that E5, is going to hold the cap by blocking it. But realistically, he's playing kind of a dangerous game against the double 60 TP, which have a lot more alpha. Franek with the 140 getting spotted. Floki, though, gets peeked by T-Sec, by more people. A shot from the middle of the map is going to connect. He does retaliate into DJ, and he is going to be okay with that exchange at least, because it does reset the cap a little bit, but he cannot really stay there.
Oh, Frantar pushing forward. Damage is so significant. Frantar down towards a one-shot. Herman also not doing that much better. The big strike coming in finishes off that 4 to the U. Getza is in trouble in return, but Herman is dead. An 8,000 HP lead for hit and run at this moment in time. Konicek having troubles clipping out Getza, but for this kill, they're going to pay so much. Konicek down towards 473. Probably going to be picked up as well. Decha already sent to repush. The 60 piece now pushing down the middle from both sides, and both angles come the 60 piece. They pick up the E5, and there's 3 tanks left standing for CTR. The Ruinberg looked fantastic, but this cliff, a little bit too much cooking.
No, that repush over the B line wasn't it for CTL. The guns from CTL that actually had BPM were shut down before it really started mattering. You could also see the focus on the 430U there, then finishing off with a striker as well. So hit and run, perfect reactions on this cliff round here. They are going to reward themselves with the second point for themselves. So I guess kind of crisis averted for hit and run.
The end of the day, hit and run's going to take 2 points. Okay, Kihan. Okay. Not quite, though. I mean, it's not that late.
Not yet, no. But yeah, hit with that little victory lap against the CTR monster, even ramming the tank. They do claim victory over CTR, but CTR, I think, a little bit of confidence that they can maybe take out of the match, because board is a little bit of a success in my mind, and for Hit, probably a little bit of concern when it comes to preparation with the ban feature still.
I mean, they do end up getting 2 points, but they would have wanted 3. At least CTR gets 1 at something. But neither team is going to be like too happy about it, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a split that nobody's like too happy about. Like, yeah, you get 2 points if you hit and run, but you really want a 3 when you're up 2-0 and you're not able to finish off the game. It's kind of sad, you know?
I think for CTR...
So, double K91, 5 droughts versus double Mivi, CS, triple E50M, and a K91. So, maybe STRV?
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you shortly, but interesting to see that we have triple E50M as well. That would indicate that there is a 430U band, maybe, no?
Possible, unless you pick the
yeah, 430U is banned by Weekend and STRV is banned by Lodis. So maybe they just said like we wanted to play 430Us, but E50M does the job as well, especially with the gun depression being a bit better.
And still better mobility. And slightly better gun handling in general as well without ability, you know?
Yep, for sure. But the modifiers from Onslaught obviously helping either way. We can see a bunch of the EO tanks moving already, kind of in this typical JK line defensive hold. Dravek doesn't have as much gun depression, but obviously the turret is great to play against any opponent there. And Weekend comes with roughly 1k HP advantage from the start. Neither team having a light obviously balances the spotting part out as well. But the Kennedy one is being shot, so no spotting for bot chance.
It's kind of a stalemate right on the K line, right? Both teams have so many forces in that location. I don't think either can really push it out. Lodis has like slightly more rotation possibility, right? Because of the E50Ms, because of the CS as well. But to utilize that, you know, they're not going to have to go around. And while the Mivi is a good tank, Clownzik will get shots against him and should be able to pen him from time to time as well. I think that's reasonable to expect. And Weekend is hitting a timing here. They're really hitting a timing. Look at the E50Ms rotating right now and Weekend pushing at the same time.
And they are unspotted, right? So it's 4 tanks now that are like lining up in this line of Dravek where only Clownzik is spotted. Now he's exchanging fire, maybe trying to push Sokol down, buy some extra time. Now they're getting spotted, but the push is already coming in. We'll have to see if the E50Ms decide to join or if they will run over Sunshine, because Sunshine shot David and obviously is in danger now as well. Sokol down to 800 HP, trying to heal against it, but Paradise immediately picks up the new kill. And Sunshine now in danger, but if he falls back, he will survive for quite a moment there, right? Like, I mean, the fire should be coming. Jordan now picks up the kill with a bit of help from Twists. And, I mean, 4k up still. Lodis has some crossfire there onto the next pushing target of David. But Weekend is not looking too bad so far.
No, they're looking really good. Trash Panda pushing past, using the little hill there in front of him as a cover to make sure that David does not get a continued story in this one. He will be going down, the final chapter being written. Trash Panda to finish off with the end. And now it's a 6-on-5 where Weekend has more HP and Weekend has basically everything going for them. They hit like a They hit a fantastic timing. I don't think it could have been any better if they tried.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely great, especially considering that there is no real information that they could have used for that. I mean, the E50Ms weren't shooting or stopped shooting after they had shot before. So good for them. With them leaving the northern part, they obviously leave also control over the radio, especially if you take a look in the J9 area. Like, there is already the E50M of Lodis getting some extra map control for some potential crossfire as well. Trash Panda is unspotted, so Jordan doesn't have an immediate angle, but long term, Trash Panda cannot stay there for much longer. You can see shots coming in. The little strike hit him, but he got the strike. So 2 strikes now for Weekend, and obviously you mentioned that 5k HP advantage.
Yeah, and they have control as well. I mean, they have the cap that will get reset by the big strike, which Lodis has 2 of, but Lodis needs to find a kill and a lot of extra damage. And I just currently don't see the way that they would be doing that. You know, like, how do they get a kill and how do they even do a lot of damage on top of that? Like, this is I'd say an impossible repush.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that they have the radio towers, so getting the decap into the cap circle should not be a major issue. Hellrap there has cover from shots, but obviously not against the strike. Twist actually gets decapped now, but he was clever enough to drive out, so he prevents this 5-second blockage. It's 5 seconds left, and I'm not sure if this is in time. The strike is now activated, and base captured.
Base captured indeed, and it's going to be Weekend to pick up the round.
I'm not sure if that round really tells us anything about the strength of the team, but it's a good start.
Yeah, I mean,
Tanks you have. Taking a look at the banned tanks, which we should see in a second. I assume it's an RHM. Yep, it's an RHM. And where's the second tank? Type 5 heavy. Okay, so Type and Dravik being banned. Paradise takes a first shot, a nice snapshot there, I think, from Botchans. But he gets tagged both by the E4 and a K91, maybe even a replane available for Sunshine now. Botchans will try to prevent Paradise from capping. Hits at least the track, that is enough for the decap, but gets punished from basically all the angles. Even the T100 fired maybe a bit too greedy from Sunshine there, but the push is coming in now with the 50Bs, with the Briskavitzes. Strikes coming in as well, but the mouse is there and the mouse can take some hits.
Boltsion's down towards a one-shot, though. He will fall to Paradise, who gets the kill before he goes down in return. Darkstic and the Bliskavitz down towards 635 as well. And now Lodis is kind of stuck in this pincer movement, trying to go through this team of Weekend. The HP is good because they started off with a decent amount more, but David kind of isolated, forced to pull back. Evil now peeking from this side as well. Sokol and Twist are coming back in, and these bees, they're reloading. They need to explode once more. You can see their HP dropping. If they, however, can get a favorable engagement on somebody, then who knows what's possible. But it's going to be very, very hard. But Sokol and Twist right now are the playmakers. They're going to commit here on towards Kano and the Dravets in the third tank that is there. Kano is going to be the one that gets focused out. He dies. That's Sokol finding the kill. And now Jordan Tuka starting to clip out against Evilok in his Dravet. He explodes, just disappears in front of everyone. Clowntic will survive and Tuka will go down in return. Weekend took back this HP lead. Now starting to make the kills as well. Sunshine needs to be really careful on that T100. He's lucky. Tarksic only hitting the track. In return, David will find the connection. Could have been a one-shot for that. Wanted to get involved, but almost made a real mess of that one. Luckily enough, one of them not connecting. And now they should be able to slow down the game. And slowing down the game is going to be bad news for Lodis.
Yeah, I mean, the HP difference is one thing, but the light tank difference is a different thing. The K91 has great spotting as well and lots of HP. The T100, I don't think there's any chance for them to spot him anymore. Now another plane is available. Obviously, there's not enough damage for them to just strike it, but Hellrap has plenty of HP. Comes in, takes the hits. Now, if he gets back around the corner, I'm not sure if he will, but then he would recover a lot of HP. Good shooting there by Twists, but I don't think it will matter that much anymore. Another good shot by Trash Panther, and the 50B being a one-shot, the Forge not having a turret, and the T100 kind of being like invisible towards them, this will be a very tough one to recover for Lodis.
I mean, I'm willing to nitpick a little bit here, and I think it's fair to do so. The Foshb had no business doing what he did, right? He does get the 2 kills, but the strike was coming back up in like 10 seconds, right? And they had 100% control over that with Trash Panda. So Trash Panda could have taken the strike with the Foshb covering and the T100 covering, and whoever comes down from Lodis will die. He will explode. The Blitzcats can't do it, right? Because they're both one shot. So was it necessary to do that? I don't think so. They could have even put the Foshb on the strike and then killed them that way. Yeah, it's like it's nitpicking, but like in a closer game, it could really matter.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as it even like this, it's not like crazy 5-0 tanks remaining or something like that. I mean, it's still a 2-on-2. Sure, there's a significant advantage for Weekend. They have a strike. They could basically blow up T-Sec with this radio, not T-Sec Twist with this radio strike combination any moment. I guess they're patiently waiting to get him into a position where they can maybe double strike it. The T100, you can see, only has the radio. So if he reaches the strike, they could kind of like increase the perimeter. Now the radio was activated. The plane as well onto the 50B. So 50B doesn't have a lot of options how to escape there. Now he gets unspotted, and you can see the strike of Trash Panda was this area without being surprised. It's still 2 autoloaders, but on the other hand, Sokol also has this combination of strike plus radio now.
Sunshine takes the strike. As you said, they're looking for the double strike opportunity, and they're going to be doing just that as well. Sunshine does get striked in return, but did he not use it?
I mean, he used the plane, but like he used the plane on Twist. I don't know why they didn't just strike him. Like, I mean, the 50B is quick, but like,
it's hard to dodge double strike, to be honest.
I mean, they only had one at that point, right? Like, I don't know. They activated it and then didn't use the strike. I mean, again, you mentioned that those are the small things, and now obviously Weekend having 2 strikes but no radio tower, meaning that Sokol could just decide to drive up and potentially strike Sunshine again, and with 4 minutes left, he will definitely get another chance for another strike.
Well, the Foshb is taking the info, but Sunshine does get a plane. Does he opt to use it? He does opt to use it, actually. So he'll spot out Sokol. If he can get a shot on him, then he will also get a replane, of course. Does he connect it? He misses it. But he does get a replane anyways, because of the strike. And then Sunshine does get actually... I mean, they're doing a really good job against him there. That was blind.
Yeah, I mean, Sunshine fired onto the radio tower, so maybe they just saw shots going there and just said like, okay, this should be the rough angle. But yeah, I'm not happy with what Weekend is doing out of the game, and if the 50B can somehow find himself in a position where the Fosh tanks kind of like as a front line for him, the 50B with this big clip, like, it's still very dangerous. Do you remember how much HP advantage there was at the beginning? Because I think one of the teams had more HP from the start.
I mean, Lodis side a bit more HP, right? It's straightforward because they have 7 tanks versus a T100, and K91 doesn't really have a lot of HP either. In that regard, CS doesn't have a lot of HP either.
Only the mouse. But
yeah.
I guess also, like, Hellrap regenerated some HP with the Fosh-B.
Yeah, but Sokol also, you know, is also in a Fosh-B.
No.
100% Lodis side a bit more HP.
No. So I would say Weekend should have the advantage.
Yeah,
in
but
terms
it's
of
not
damage
it's,
dealt. But
it's
it's
not,
like it's very like.
It's not
why don't you
at
just
all.
get a clean win, right?
Yeah, it started with the Fosh, right? And then it is kind of spiraled into this. And I mean, kudos to Lodis. They did really good strikes against Sunshine. But with an information tower and a second strike at some point, you should always be able to get the 50B out of the game. Let's be realistic about that. And that is something, you know...
US American tank destroyer with that turret. So let's see how Mafia are going to fare with quintuple type, whereas W only bring 1. And Yeah, it seems both teams, or at least Mafia, have chosen the E4. W maybe with nothing, maybe with the E4 as well. But off we go to the races between two past champions.
Yeah, I was going to bet you 10 gold that it was going to be Mafia banning that E4. Types are a fantastic tank, but they get absolutely shredded by E4. So taking this many, it's a risk if you can't ban that E4, and they have. So they're opting to brute force this one a little bit. W playing their interesting strats. They went the long way on zero line, now gone forward. They have been spotted with some of the Draviks. I don't think they've all been spotted. Strike control been taken by W already. The Fosh B of Kono taking the one in the city, and initial trades, it's just about even. A little bit of bleed. Big hits onto Yuzek though by Nepal and Ios then. Mentos and Itox, they can't sit here. Nice thing about this though is types are not good on long range. They don't have that much pen, so Mentos can survive for a very long time here. If it was E4s, it would be a different story.
Absolutely, and Mafia recognize this. They're starting to repush in the south here on towards the green, but they're going to be driving in towards Dravetsas that are already scuttering back, trying to get to hold down positions, possibly as Barkis takes a big one. Rexa to follow up with taking two as well, so the side scraping Dravci are actually doing a pretty good job here, but in from the backlines, a tank that has not yet been revealed is coming in. Kono with a fully loaded Fosh B. Itox is going to absolutely feel the pain as he gets crossfired into oblivion.
Yeah, and that forces a reaction by W in the south, and they're going to be pushing into these super heavies, and that's not really what you want to do. But Mafia, these types have bled a fair amount already, though. Bark is down to 1,000, Conrad on 2k. Ozic makes the peak, takes 1.1 for his trouble.
Great
that
strike.
Big strike there, yeah, that was about 1,200, a little bit less, no, a little bit more, sorry, damage, and the trade's going on. I'm not sure if W are penning as many shots as they'd like here. Barkis will be the focus here. Piotr and Lukin come in. Looks like Lukin doesn't connect into the back of Barkis. That's his ass. Didn't even connect that from behind. Finally, Barkis does go down. I was blocking that road. Clerf is on the one shot, and W are just running out of steam, especially with this Bosch coming in from behind. He has perfect shots, clipping out Nepal, not even going for the focus fire, just going for straight damage.
Exactly. Conrad not getting double teamed though in between Lukin and Piotr. Goes down towards 1000 HP. That means one more shot from either tank is required, but Nepal in the Dravets gets shut down at the same point in time. It is a 4 versus 3 for Mafia here as two tanks for W get cleaned up, and all of a sudden it's just call me Piotr in the Dravets. He's not fighting against Groundwagens, and you know what that means. He's about to have a very unpleasant experience against 4 remaining Mafia players.
Yeah, it was a nice one. I think Mafia made some mistakes, though. I think in the bit quite a lot, but that play from Kono going behind onto Piotr, absolutely knew there was a Fosh in the city. I really feel that we should have been more prepared.
There was actually the problem coming out of, I believe it was Mentos and the Mouse, that he tried to angle against the Fosh B. Like, he was going to take that damage no matter what, but by trying to angle against the Fosh B, all of a sudden he opened himself up to getting shot from the types, and that was in the end what made him lose his HP so rapidly. Like, at that point, you have to kind of do threat triage, if you want to call it that. You have to be like, okay, I'm going.
They're prepared. They had the info tower. They knew the Fosh was in the city. Why were they not prepared for it?
That's a good question, but I believe with this lighter lineup of the Dravci trying to push into Type 5s, where you're such a daring prospect to do that you don't want to until or unless you absolutely have to. But here the hesitation.
They did bleed Mafia quite a lot. Before they were forced into the repush, they bled Mafia quite a lot in these types. A few of those types in the south, 2 of them were down to 2k. So W did do a good job, but all that good work was just undone with the Fosh coming behind. But either way, new game, new me. Liska being banned by W, E4 being banned by Mafia. It is interesting how, because of these bans, it changes the meta on this map. Because I think what we're going to start seeing in maybe the next few play days, more different TDs are going to be taken. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing an E3 or 2 to counter this high
TDs,
type gameplay. Well, yeah, you could 268 even, or just something that, obviously E3 is just the example that comes to my head because it's similar to an E4, but Strike being taken by the 140, it's still interesting by W. Playing this style that they're keeping with the non-super heavies, using those Draveks to try and punish them on range. Conrad's taking a little bit of damage. Cap will be started by Yuzek and Ozic. Rotation coming out.
Still talking about the Juggernaut TDs, maybe a V4 even? Like you have kind of okay-ish heat pen, kind of okay-ish armor, you're going to outspot the Type 5s?
The thing is, I think a Type is so tall, you can overmatch the roof maybe. And definitely you can overmatch the engine deck. I think just...
Especially at range, yeah.
I think the V4s, it won't be the play. I think the pen's not high enough. I think you need a very high pen TD. So I think we might see some Types in the front, a 268 in the back, yeah. Does get decapped though, Uzek. The rotation coming out is very cheap rotation. IOS takes 700. It's not horrific. W not making the connections or just able to cross over just fine. Not sure if the Foch has been spotted in that corner. He is starting to rotate across the A lines. That might be a little bit of a wild card, but
we'll have to wait and see, but Mafia obviously reacting to what W is doing with the rotation. Mentos taking a big one by Orzhek that is playing the Rubbles in the window as well. However, he does take damage from Clerf here, so yet another angle. A new angle has been discovered on Ensk. Yeah, from that 0 line, being able to punish the D4 position is kind of crazy, but now Kono in that Foch has arrived and is down to a 1 clip in that 140. Yes, Piotr is also there, but of course, if you have a Dravets and a 140 to shoot at with a Foch B, there is no doubt in anyone's mind you're going to go for the Inspire medium. That still is a very potent threat to any team, despite the slight nerfs to the ability.
yeah, the big thing is that the Foch is still unspotted in the city. He hasn't been spotted this whole game, so he's a bit of Mafia's wild card at the moment. Right now, it's just two ogres kind of hitting each other with Types. You know, it's like when you used to play with your dolls. You're just kind of hitting them against each other and pretending it's war. It's pure meat hitting meat right now. I mean, W are kind of getting the better of the trades because they can play hold down with Nepal and Clerf. The cap goes quite high, but there's no real doubt in my mind that they will be able to get a decap on that one. IOS does still have the strike. Kono, Mafia at the moment, and I've got to just edge it ahead for Mafia at the moment. I think Mafia have that Foch wildcard, they have full info, and I think they have more map control as well. I'm starting to get a little bit worried for W right now.
The problem for them as well is that, yes, they got the reset, but what did it cost them? It cost them the strike, and that is the 100% reset probability used. And of course, Mafia know that as well. They popped the info tower, they know that there are no strike mediums, and they obviously counted the amount of artillery strikes that were picked up as well. And now they're starting to boost the cap here with a second tank. Big connection into IOS as well. Once again, the 140 dropping to 1200 HP. That is 3 shots from a Foch B. Mind you, closer over the green. However, Profuse might be caught out in a problematic situation. There are tanks that are trying to help him, but Profuse goes down towards a 2-shot. However, the crossfire is there. Clerf going down for this move. Nepal might be able to pick up Profuse that is desperately trying to push him out in towards his own allied tanks. Nepal taking another shot of damage. Should have the reload, does have the gun depression as well to pick it up, but he's left on a single shot of damage for the enemy.
Yeah, it's a brutal one, that 0 line crossing, but it's one W felt they have to make. They spotted that Foch in the city, so they kind of smelled blood on this field to try and push out the 0 line, but it just didn't work for them. Lukin goes down. IOS is in a good farming position though, and Itox might be able to, one from Rexar, one from Uzek. Barkis might finish him off if he gets that gun depression. Doesn't connect the shot, but I don't think it's going to make enough of a difference here. Kono is coming in, and seeing the final moments of W on Ensk at the moment. Piotr goes down, Rexar falls in return, but Itox is all there on his lonesome, 3k HP in a dream, and it's just not happening. It's quite funny actually what's happening in A0. The Dravik is just running away from the Type, and the Type's just forced to kind of chase him, but yeah, now...
Is it going to be make a big difference, though? I don't think so, especially looking at the HP. The mouse was going to die either way, and Nepal for quite some time, and Conrad does shut him down. Not even sure if he possibly used an HE for that. And now IOS will be able to farm a little bit for the stats department for that DPG, but which has been adjusted to 425 alpha damage, by the way, between the seasons. But now 42 HP and a dream. It's not going to be it. IOS loses it. Mafia cleanly convert Ensk. When it comes to the firepower department, and also especially on Sand River, you should consider that the T100 doesn't have as much gun depression as the RHM, which can be especially useful on this map. Mafia skipping the light tanks altogether, however. Dravets CS, W50M140, and double 430U.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of random Onslaught over the last few days, and I've really started to get an appreciation for the T100. I don't have a Tessec on my actual account, so every time RHM gets banned, I tend to, on maps like Live Oaks and things like that, I tend to take the T100. So I have started to get a bit of an appreciation for it. I can really feel the camo difference between the RHM and the T100. The T100 has so much more camo, it's insane. But the gun, obviously, as you mentioned, a lot weaker, less gun depression, less HP. But yeah, Strike coming out, Rexar getting decapped, double cap started by Yuzek and Barkis in those 430Us. The M5Y and the T100 of W going through the K-line, but Ios is in a bit of trouble here. He takes a lot of damage for this. He's going to take more before he leaves. He might go down for this, and he does.
Ios definitely overstaying here, doesn't realize that the double 430U together with the Dravids from the lower ground would make his life and his position completely untenable. Same for Mentos, who is down to 612 here, all the while Mafia even able to get the cap going. And yes, W, they have an artillery strike, but they're down so much when it comes to positions and basically everything. The first strike is going to reset Barkis, that's 425, but still 20 seconds. But I don't think Mafia at this point care anymore. They know that on the lower side, on the south of the map, there should be some W tanks ripe for the taking. Yuzek committing in, he has the funny button active. Orzhek, even with the 50M, has the possibility to come in from above. Look, Clarv taking more fire, and you said it, that T100 is so flimsy, it's just gonna blow up. Double kill for W, and sorry, for Mafia here, coming in towards W, and Nepal the next one on the chopping block. This one is looking like not a banger, this one's looking like an absolute clean sweep with the team from Poland taking it away.
Yeah, this was boys to men completely. W just got absolutely shreked in this one. And the thing is that Ios is really a bit of a linchpin. He's that central high DPM tank. He covers the K line. He has the strike that gets the decaps. He covers the north. And him going down, it's like dominoes for W. That they get overrun at the K line because there's no backline support. And also like the E50M going in the north. I'm not sure who it was. It might have been either Kono or Orzic in that B4 position, completely countering Mentos in that Dravik. It just fell apart. This wasn't close. 10k remaining. This was boys to men, honestly.
And well, before the match started, it was just the tanks getting completely caught off guard. The tanks of W, that is. And we see the battle results. I mean, not a single kill. And whenever the score is 7-0, then most likely it was a tactical loss. Something fundamentally with the setup of the team losing went wrong. It was maybe straight up counter, something like this. But W for now looks like they're kind of back to the drawing board. They're bruised and battered.
Yeah, they need to be, but it's such a strange game. They have the light, which means they have the information. Why does Ios go that close? I don't understand. Like, he went to the rock in the bush. Maybe he wanted to get there unspotted. Maybe he had a low noise, God knows. But if you have the light, you need to play a long game. You need to play at arm's length, right? You need to be a bit away from the enemy and play a slow game. I don't know why Ios goes that close and just gets caught. And from there, you know, T100, you know, we say often, right? Combat tanks. SJV is not a combat tank. It's a DPM tank. RHM is not a combat tank. It's a spotter, right? It doesn't have as much DPM or sustained fighting potential as other tanks. T100 is even less, right? The gun is pretty terrible. It's got bad gun depression. It's not a fighting tank. It's a poke your enemy until they bleed 1,000 cuts. You know, it's 300 alpha damage. So losing Ios and having that T100 just means basically it's only 5 combat tanks. And from there it was just done, and it was deserved, honestly. The feeling I feel bad about is that it's showing W in 6th. It should show them in 8th.
I mean, I think right now, well, I would say we're going with alphabetical order, but Weekend being in front of Mafia kind of destroys that one for me. But yeah, on a shared place 1 currently, we have Cashback, Weekend, and Mafia sitting all with clean 3-0 victories over their respective opponent. Then 4th and 5th place go to Hit and CTR respectively. That obviously ended up sharing the points. And well, W, Lodis, and Sicarios in a, let's say, shared 6th spot. So it sounds nice for them. But overall, for all of those 3 teams, I think the opening that they showcased today was not where they wanted to be, especially W. I mean, yes, sometimes it just to be like that and you lose against Mafia 3-0, but the fashion that they lost in today, it was